Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2, and with this French campaign. So, last time around, we fought in Ireland. Now I remember, we fought in Ireland. Since then, we have left Ireland, up to its own machinations. I'm not entirely sure if they will spawn an Irish state, or it will just remain sort of a generic rebel state, like if it's actually gonna respawn like the Dutch have. The Dutch are back in control, but for how long we do not know, as there is a force here under Hector of Cordoba ready to attack. So the Spanish don't really like that, and the Spanish would take that. Not liking that at all. But there's not much I can do against my ally right now. Otherwise, in terms of what we've done in the European theater, is I have been able to work some magic in terms of gaining trade deals. I don't think we've gained any more here among the major nations. It's more among the smaller ones. Westphalia, I managed to get them through offering an alliance. I don't think they're really not at war with anyone, and they seem to be allied with most of the nations around them, so I don't think Joseph is in any mood to declare war on anyone, so he's not going to drag us into that. In terms of the Pope, I think I gave him a shit ton of technology. I've been trying to trade technology. The Scottish, I offered them indefinite military access for trade. I was hoping to get friendly with them. Currently, though, they're actually allied with Great Britain. There was an idea that I should hand over everything to Scotland, like if I took Great Britain, or if I took England and Wales and I took Ireland, I would give it all to Scotland, so it would be rather be Greater Scotland, I guess. But no, I'd rather have them split up in different factions. Venice, I think I already have. Now, when I look at it, I didn't actually sign that many trade deals, but it seemed, you know, because it's so difficult to get all of these to sign into trade deals. Even if I make two, in the last video, it seemed like a major gain, and I make about 1,000 per trade deal, at least. Hopefully we'll get some of that sugar online, and the spices of New Guyana, get that online with trade, so that should do wonders for our economy. Currently making almost 13,000 per turn. A lot of that also has to do with the fact that the army that went to Ireland is being refitted. Hopefully we'll be able to send that off to the New World. However, we can see here, right at Portsmouth, that the British are building quite the force. 2 pike units, quite a bit of line infantry, cavalry, pistoliers, cannons, and so on. And John Churchill is in command, so we might want to keep a home force ready to defend against a possible English invasion. But that's all for the European theatre for now. In terms of what's going on in the New World, then with one turn more, I should have my native auxiliary army ready to retake French Guiana, and we'll have all the Guianas under our control. And the pirates might be blocking this port, but they won't be blocking the other one. Now there's no road connecting the two territories, so unfortunately we won't get all the sort of goodies out of this colony, but we'll certainly get the spices back and the gold mine over here. It's not actually built, it looks like, so it could be due to the fact that these are rebels. Might have despawned the mine, I'm not sure. We'll be able to build that up anyways and get gold going again, so that's fine. And then as we go north, there's nothing here. Right here, however, we have been able to lure across the British army. Kevin Douglas, I think it was the army that was stationed here, has moved across and looted the farmland over here. So rather than take the fight to us, the coward went looting. I've sent out the fleet to block all the crossings, so no more British can cross, and we will be sending our force to crush him. The priest is leaving this area because he's making no headway, which I should have looked at, because I think they've got some kind of tribal thingamajiggy that increases their own religion, so we'll be trying our luck in the Niagara region instead. If that doesn't work, then I'll see if we might get the Huron, or maybe work at getting back this area by adding more to the Catholic faith. With that said, I don't think we have much more to do, because I want to move a little bit quicker. I think I'll go ahead and fight this battle right here, that we're looking at, and this one down here. I think we'll fight it sort of, not really off camera. What I'll do is I'll do a shorter version directed from replay material instead, and then we might see if we can get a fight maybe against Britain somewhere down on their side of the colonies, or whatever else might happen, who knows. With all of that said, we're going to take this force under Philip up north and take out Kevin Douglas to start with. Right. We have quite the advance over him, so there should be no sport at all at vanquishing these bastards. And no surprise, the enemy was devastated. We end up losing almost 900 men, though, in the process. but there's only 215 of Kevin Douglas men left, and none of those include Kevin Douglas himself, and he was taken out in the fight. When it comes down to who killed the most, it was Great Plains Warrior, which might be no surprise because I sent them in against the armed citizenry. Slaughtered those boys. Next up, we got the boys, actually. They fired for quite some time. They lost 100 men, but managed to achieve 249 kills. As they rank up, I'm sure they'll perform even better. What's left of the British troop is part of the Provincial Regiment and Great Plains Bowmen, although they do not carry bows. We will... Oh, it's going to cost me 5,000. At least I'll be able to repair the farm. So they'll head over to Moose Factory. I'm sure they'll be back, though, just to raid my countryside. We should probably look to invest in some cavalry to be able to chase down these troops. As it looks right now, it's all native auxiliaries that we have no European cavalry whatsoever. That might change as we will establish barracks. With that, I have no more moves to make, so we'll go ahead and end turn, and then we'll head over to Guyana, if everything goes according to plan. Almost immediately, things go awry. Well, not like catastrophically right now. The blockaded port in Barbados is certainly not something that I'm super worried about. However, the fleet that we discovered, the British fleet that was right here, actually moved down, picked up this force. It looked like they were going to land in Normandy for a second, but then they headed off up through here. So I'm thinking they're going to send that force to the New World. Now, this kind of, leaves London open for an attack, but there's so many stacks that's going to spawn in the capital, and I'm not sure that we'll be able to do it. And I'm fearing that I don't have the capacity in terms of my navy to hunt them down. Ah yes, I'm sending a priest over to America because we're not doing a whole lot of headway in converting the populace here in Europe. We still have about 16% Protestant, but it's not like it's making a huge fuss here. So I'm not too interested in doing anything with that. You did that. Letter of demand from Ireland. Workers' riots in Ireland. And construction. Ah, Louisiana. And we've got governor's residence all over the place. Should increase our coffers, hopefully, if it weren't for the fact that we've lost even more sugar with the blockade of Barbados. That was actually did actually do a little bit of a hit on the economy. We need to send the navy anyway soon enough to the New World because I need to unblock a lot of these ports by the stupid pirates. The Black Pearl. Hull strength 7,000. More worrisome is the firepower. I don't think I have anything to match that. Just quickly, the Black Pearl. Jack Sparrow. We haven't heard that name in a long time. So many movies. Does he ever fight the French? I don't know. Anyways, time for this fight. Might even be an outer assault. I think it's kind of too close. I'm sure the AI would get slaughtered or something if I outer assault it. Let's go ahead and play this one through, and it's kind of interesting. It's basically natives versus natives, and there's only 2 units of Europeans: the cattle throwers and the armed citizenry. Otherwise, it's all natives. It's a crushing victory. We only lost about 200 and so men, while the enemy lost their entire force, where most of them were actually slain during the battle. Highest kills goes to native bowmen, but then again the army comprised of 95% of native bowmen, so maybe not a huge surprise that they killed the most. And with that, we've taken back French Guiana. Wonderful. We got loads of money to spend. Gold mine to upgrade. Spice. It would cost us quite a bit, but we would almost double production in terms of spice. And spice will be a very valued commodity, will it not? It's at 35. The only thing is more higher is African goods at 36. And I don't even know how you get African goods. Well, I guess you have to go to Africa. With that, there's no real cause for us to... there's no real fight to be found, so I'll have to go look for one, and then once I find one, we'll have the battle will play, depending on how much time has been spent up till now. I was worried I would end up doing a lot of turns before I got a proper battle, but the proper battle was landed right on my shores. The enemy has raided our lands. So, as we saw earlier, there was a mighty British force. Oh, we actually didn't see it. Oh, the Irish have spawned up. They've got their own flag. That is promising that we might see an independent Irish state. Now, I mentioned how the army that was in Portsmouth was picked up and moved through here. I was fearing it was going for the New World, but it was a switcheroo that the British played on me. I moved my fleet out to raid British trade, and then they came back, landed at port, moved through. They didn't go directly for Paris, but instead they attacked the fort and then went to the town right here. So we do, in fact, have a mission. Right, we have successfully infiltrated that. Rebellion in Ireland. Recruitment report. Fleet arrives. Ah, it's my my agent. Now I don't want him here because here is not where I'm too concerned with. What I want him is I want this priest to convert the lands down south. I don't know what we have down here. Hey, yeah, Protestantism needs to be changed. And I'm sure there's some, yeah, there's still some native here. Not as much on the islands, but you know, that's what I'm looking to change. Construction, good. And then we've got the enemy raid and a trained gain, morally impaired. No surprise that someone gets morally impaired in the capital. Why? Oh, I lost that much because my port was blocked. Let's see. Argyle. What is it? 5th rate, and the 6th rate. That's not too bad, actually. I could take that on at a later stage. First, I need to defeat the enemy force up here. So it's John Churchill. He's landed his force. It's got 2 pikemen, which might be nasty. It's got some mercenary grenadiers. They got their own. They got 2 drummer sections. Quite a bit of cavalry. Most of it Cuirassier Pistoliers, and then garrison dragoons. They have a lot of infantry, not a lot of. Did I say they've got a lot of infantry? They've got a lot of cavalry, not a lot of infantry. There's not much for it. We'll leave one general behind, I think. We'll just in case. Right, they bring a force of 4,068 men against our 3,000. Let's see if we can't best them. Now the enemy outnumbers me by about 1,000 men, so it's going to be a difficult battle in that sense. However, the AI usually manage to screw it up, don't they? There wasn't a lot of good positions for my artillery, because most of these I kind of end up on the back slope of the hill, so I couldn't really place them anywhere there. And so it was either down here, in which case the cannons would only really be able to fire through here. They would be blocked by the slight hill here and blocked by the big hill here. So I decided to place them here. Just because from here, now we are blocked from this side. But we have a much wider range on this side. So we can destroy what's ever here. And then I can try and, you know, fortify this as much as possible. In case the enemy manage to push through, we can still, you know, fire some flank shots through there. Let's not shoot our own cannons. And let's start. Okay. Quite the intimidating force, I must say, because there's simply so many of them. Let's try to get like an angle, something like that, I think. Got the pikemen up there and the drummer section. Cavalry close behind. General in support over here. We've got my light infantry over here. I'm thinking it's going to be quite important to devastate those big cavalry units. I'm going to send a lot of cavalry over to this side immediately. That sounds like a possible cavalry charge. We're forming a square in preparation, and my lancers have been called into action to block these garrison dragoons from going straight into my units, straight into my infantry. Now that's a lot of cavalry. So we've got 4 enemy cavalry against my lancers. It's not very nice at all. Okay, so this one, nicely enough, destroyed. We've got plenty of enemy infantry advancing through there. My pikes have been thrown in. There's too much fighting over here. We're going to form this one into square. And this one will then stand in line. Not entirely sure why the very back of those units were firing. Oh, they're about to fire. Fire at the pike regiment. That is the Grenadiers. Cannons, hold fire. We're gonna send out the cavalry. This is not actually looking very well right now. Hammer and anvil, try and save what we got there, and these guys going far. Drummer squadron set up in the flank. The boys need to turn. Maybe I can drag the pikes. We're gonna go after the cannons. Let's see, what's this? My lancer unit's down to 100 men. The pikes are doing pretty well, but now the enemy pikes are coming in. And that's not going to do well for my lancers, which I want to get away. Enemy cavalry, we're going to send in our own drummer section to attack. Go for the cannons. Can I get you to fire on the pikes, maybe? The general needs to come over here. It's the lancers breaking now. This unit's down to about half size. I don't think we're gonna be able to make it at this rate, actually. It's not looking good, not looking good at all. I'm gonna throw these forward a bit, hoping to get some better shots off on the enemy. The squares are holding for now. I think what I'll do is I'll set up the general right there, and then he can fire into the flank. Fire at the pike. Oh, lots of cavalry came in or something. The drummer section.
now destroyed. You need to be switched. Grenadiers holding on. The enemy grenadiers, that is. Oh, that's my pikemen just decided to leave. That means there's lots of enemy pikemen still there. My cavalry was destroyed in the process. I think we're doing pretty well here. I'm gonna withdraw the 2 infantry units. Cannons will hold fire right now because there's a high risk of us shooting our own. Close fighting over there. The lance is about to give way because, well, there's pikes. The square was dropped. Okay, cavalry was able to pull through. The drummer section was able to pull through. We're gonna pull down towards here. Gonna regroup. Don't shoot our own troops. We're gonna try and reorganize in a fashion to get away. What's this? Oh, it's my pikemen are back. But I don't actually want you to throw yourselves straight into that. Instead, I want this unit to kind of wheel in. Oof. This unit needs to try and get out of there. So we're rallying. Get the general out of there. I'm just going to get this battery to fire over there. Okay, now we're attacked in the back. I was hoping that maybe, just maybe, we would be able to save this bit. I think we might actually be. Did they dismount the cavalry? Yeah, the dragoons dismounted. And it also... Okay, we managed to find our way through there. So these guys gonna get away. Lancers fighting their heavy cuirassiers. You can open fire again. You will fire over here. Actually, I think all cannons can fire over there. The 2 units in the back should hold fire. And instead switch to the sides. Lancers back here. Cavalry back there. These units should continuously run this way to try and get away. Oh, there's another unit of pikemen. That's bad. We'll try and get away from that. We are holding on. General up through there. Fire through here. We'll see how we end up dealing with this pike unit. Short and bloody fight. Okay, that cavalry unit's completely gone. What's left? There's 2 enemy cavalry units out there. There's the enemy 2nd battalion of infantry that was fighting across there. There's the pike unit, and then there's the general. It's a very, very bloody fight. The enemy threw themselves right on us. And somehow I have managed to stay alive. My own smaller pike unit is still alive. Might be wasteful to throw that in against these. My cavalry cannot dismount, so that's not a choice. The boys are holding on. What's this? This is the drummer section. Okay, the pikes are moving in a wide angle around us. Let's see if reorganize everything. Get the cavalry further back. I think this battalion is actually beating the boys because I don't think... No, the placement is okay-ish. You know what? I could probably pull these back further. Order this one. Fire canister instead. Can we get some good shots in on those pikes? Enemy general is moving this way. pikes and drummer section. Plus cavalry, plus general coming in firing. Could see about, you know, making a kind of fire shock to force the pikes to give up. I'm sending in the melee units to hold them. See if I can get the general maybe into some kind of flanking position to fire at them. Get the line infantry to set up. Let's take a look at what we're losing here. 70 pikes left. Dropping very quickly, but you saw there that was enough. Okay, hold fire. And then actually turn. Just turn. Okay, enemy cavalry is making their way here. My cavalry needs to get back there. General's bodyguard. Let's have the generals fight. Here comes the enemy cavalry. The veteran dragoons throwing themselves straight into our formations. Not entirely sure that will be very useful. Let's hold. Boys move to the side. The lancers are able to move out. And the lancers throw themselves into a charge. And the boys have kind of moved to the side, which opens up for the 2nd regiment to throw themselves in. Oh! He's moving around to deal with my general. See if we can't scare John Churchill away. Actually, cannons do a little bit of a trade a bit of fire with the enemy over there. Heavy casualties, but it looks like we pulled through. I doubt that the enemy general will somehow be able to change it just with his own troops. Oh, he's throwing himself at us. General versus general. There he is, John Churchill. Where is our commander? I can't remember who our commander is. And now I can't even find him. We've got 72 men left. They got 49, so we're clearly winning in that sense. Enemy General John Churchill has fallen. He was cut down. I was about to say in his prime, but I'm sure he wasn't his prime because, well, then he wouldn't have been cut down, would he? Now his bodyguards can still... There's my general. There he is. Hard fighting there. Kind of interesting how the generals ended up fighting there in the end. I'm gonna make sure that my cavalry goes out and gets rid of their cannons. An extremely brutal fight where, like, most people who participated in this battle died. Like, everyone's dead. More or less. The statistics of this is going to be quite gruesome. But then again, I think I would like to blame a lot to the position of where we started. Like, I started on the back side of the hill. I couldn't pull my cannons forward. The enemy started really close as well for this fight. And they were able to throw the cavalry at me right at the start. Somehow, though, we were able to sustain even with that. And we ended up victorious. Extremely bloody fight. We've got over 5,000 5,000 dead on the field. If I'm correct, yeah. Over 5,000. Extremely devastating for the British, losing everything but 350 men. So out of 4,000 men, not even, what, 10%? Even one, what? No, I can't calculate that quickly. Not a lot of troops left for them. Anyways, we lost about half of our force, so it's very bloody for us as well. I'm sure some of my units were destroyed. Doesn't actually look like it. Unless I fielded a militia unit. That is all the line infantry, which I should have. No, I think we'll see actually. Pikes kill the most, no surprise there. Then line infantry, followed by line infantry. Let's see who lost the most. Pike lost the most. You know what? It looks like I did not get a single unit destroyed, which I thought I did. So all units survived, it seems, through this bloody conflict. We can kind of see who killed what here. Cannons didn't do much, but then again it wasn't a great placement for them. Let's not linger here though, because this episode otherwise will be very long. The good thing is John Churchill is put into the ground, and so is his army. The remnants of his force retreat to the sea and will pursue and annihilate it. There's no point in leaving this force left. We ended up losing 1-1 there, so they very much fought to the very end. This is going to be very expensive, I imagine, to yeah, it's going to cost me 7,000 to set that up again. We're going to get... The more important thing is to be able to pay for all of this. So we're going to repair the areas. And we're going to go ahead and bring as much of the army back to back in position as possible. Given though that this episode was so long, I could go on about the future, in which, you know, my plans for the future and kind of how I'm seeing the pieces on the board right now, but I'll just go ahead and say as what I always say, that hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.